home. You are going to have to kill me for that to happen. I warned you. Finally. You would not listen. Fine. My turn. How incredibly disappointing. Come on, then. Leave my Struck a nerve, did I? Who are you hiding? Slow and old. Leaving so soon? When Odin sent me here, I just needed answers, but you had to act all proud. Throw whatever you have at me. I'll keep coming. That old body will give out. But before I end this, I want you to know one thing. I can't feel any of this.
Ambush them with the fire.
Yes, YouTube, this your boy TK20, the Caribbean Gamer, and welcome back. What I have for you today, guys, it's God of War, and today I'm here to give you my review and verdict. Devil May Cry 1 is and still an awesome game. Devil May Cry 3 is and awesome game. Fast forward to Devil May Cry, also known as DMC, and they fucked that shit up. Fans never really liked the way how Dante looked. They never really liked the combat, and some people say the control was not tight enough. God of War 1, 2, and 3 are all awesome games. God of War 3 was so good that they had to remaster that shit just so new people who just come into gaming can see and experience that game. Fast forward to this game, this Kratos, and everything can be subjective, to each his own. So let's get right into it. God of War is very beautiful. It's an awesome looking game. From where the journey begins to where it all ends, everything looks vivid. Colors are bright and so forth. However, I find that the lighting in Assassin's Creed Origin is much better, because Assassin's Creed has day-night cycle. You can watch the sun set, you can watch the sun rise, you can watch the moon and the water just glistening with the water effects. All the shit looks damn good. And note to add, I play Assassin's Creed Origin and God of War and Ps4 Pro. Now let's get to the combat. The combat is what you're gonna buy God of War game for, because it's an action development type game, and the combat depends on you and how you play games. Can be frustrating, or you can just find it real boring. One of the reasons might be because the combat is now tied to an RPG elements where you need experience points to level up, and you need experience points to unlock that skill and etc. Personally, I don't think God of War should have gone to an RPG type game. Assassin's Creed Origins and Witcher 3 I can understand, but this game being a development type game, hell no. Give me a puzzle to unlock some secret weapon or secret armor. Since we're on the topic of weapon, Devil May Cry, you have a whole slew of weapons, and you was never forced. I'm looking at your K0 wing. You was never forced to use the rebellion to beat the game at any given time. You can use Powder's sword to finish beating the game. You can just use handguns to finish beating the game. In God of War, you're stuck with the Leviathan axe and you can never get rid of it. Weapons in these games are pretty sparse. Just what you start the game with is just what you're gonna finish the game with. Is it a bad thing? Yes and no, because when you look at past God of War games, you had so many different weapons to choose from that you will be looking for the same here. Execution in this game is a bit of a letdown. Kratos is not that brutal at all. To me, he just becomes a marshmallow, pretty soft. Looking at how Kratos did Zeus and those other gods in God of War 3, and then you fast forward to this, you can see what I'm talking about. Boss battles, to hell, there is not anything to talk about here when it comes to boss battles. Let's go back to God of War 1. The Hydra was almost a 7-stage fight because you had to beat 7 heads and that Hydra. Friggin' awesome. Do you get that same experience here? No. Hades in God of War 3. You had to actually toggle and fight for your soul, because Hades was trying to pull your soul, and that was basically a tug of war fight. The journey is in this game, it's again tied to an RPG system or a hub system where you can choose where you want to go at whatever time you need. So enemy can be hard, depends on what location you go to at what time. In past God of War, you start and you travel here and you go to Mount Olympus until you find the end boss. In this, it's much like Resident Evil where you go there and then you have to come back here to put something over there to progress over there. Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. And you have a fast travel system with a lengthy load time. and that can lead to frustration. Depends on you. I just didn't like it, but like I said, to each his own. Let's take a look at Atreus. Atreus is going to be by your side for 90% of the game. Is he useful? Well, like I say, it's subjective. For me, I just wish I could have just get rid of him and just focus purely on combat. The combat can be a lot challenging because of the placement of the camera, because it's now like a Resident Evil type position. And during combat, Atreus, depends on what gear you give him, he can drop health stone and so forth. But at the same time, you're fighting one enemy all to get a prompt that Atreus need rescuing. I just didn't like that shit. The ending of the story, again, that is pretty subjective. For me, I just didn't find it amusing at all. With that being said, God of War is a game that come into it totally fresh. If you're coming into it with previous God of War games, you're just gonna get let down in terms of combat, exploration, epicness. That is not presented in this game. Okay, should I recommend God of War? Yes and no. Like I said, everything in this game is subjective. What I like is not what you're gonna like. What is fun to me is not what you're gonna be finding fun to you. All in all, it's a God of War game with Kratos, but everything is totally different. And combat takes very long to get a hang of. And by the time you get a hang of combat, which is the most fun part of most action game, you might get bored or you might get too frustrating. With that being said, give it a shot. It's not a bad game, it's just far different from any other of the past games you may have played. If this is your first God of War game, you have nothing to lose. But if you're like me and play God of War 1, 2 and 3 and those on the PSP, it's gonna be a letdown. With that being said, this is your boy TKF20, the Caribbean Gamer. Give God of War a shot. I'm out. Peace.